Welcome to this video tutorial where we're going to look at how to group data by using the group by clause within SQL and SQL Server. This video is part of a series of videos where we introduce the basics of writing SQL, and you can find all the other videos by clicking the subscribe button, and then you can look through the playlist for this Introductory Beginner SQL course. You can also find all of these videos on my website www.padsresearch.co.uk. That's physics, aviation and data science, where I've created a page that has all of the videos and an article links to each video. And you can find a link to that at the end of this video tutorial. So let's think about grouping data. Well, we have our standard select statement, so I pre-prepared one here, and the components of that is that we have a select statement. We say select. Then we specify our columns that we'd like to select that we can return. Then we say from and specify which table we'd like to return some records from. And then we can have a filter, so we can put a where clause on. And our where clause we can put various different conditions in. Now once we've selected some data, we've said which table to bring it from, and we've put a filter in, or they don't have to have a filter, we can then group the data. And we do that with the group by word. So we say group by, and then we can specify which columns we want to group by. So in this case, we're going to specify territory ID and salesperson ID. Now, if you also want to order the data, then the order by clause needs to come after the group by clause. So if you look at the order of this, we have select, from, where, group by and order by, and they always need to be in that order. If you try and put order by before group by, then you'll get an error. Now, when you do use a group by, the columns that you select need to be one of two things. They either need to be the columns that you've specified in the group by clause. So in this circumstance, we're going to bring back all the groups that have sets of records that are the same for a territory ID and salesperson ID. Or it needs to be an aggregate function. So for example, this might need to be a sum. Let's go on to a new line. So we could say sum, and we might like to sum the total due amount, for example. So there it is. Let's select that one. So although this is not in our group by clause, this is okay because it's in an aggregate function. So what this will do is say, right, give me all the unique combinations of territory ID and salesperson ID. And then let's say we had 10 records that had the same territory ID and salesperson ID. It would then aggregate or sum up all of those 10 records and give you the sum of the total due for the 10 records that have the same territory ID and salesperson ID. So if we run that, then we can see that all of these records, so where we've got a territory ID of 3 and a salesperson ID of 276, that's the aggregated amount for the total due for anything that has a territory ID of 3 and a salesperson ID of 276. So you just need to remember that either you need to have the fields that you specified in the group by, or you need to use an aggregate function. If you'd like to go into more details about different ways we can use the group by function and various different ways we can aggregate data, then I've got more information in my complete course with SQL and SQL Server, and you can find a link to that at the end of this video. In the next video, we're going to extend this a little bit, and we're going to look at how we can filter some of these groups using the having clause.